Who will be the big stars tonight? For San Antonio, Ginobili has been magnificent in both games. Duncan steady as always. Who will step up for Detroit? Wallace jumping against Mohammed. Crawford ready to put the ball in the air, and here we go in game 3, and it's a back tap as the ball goes out of bounds. And in fact, Joey Crawford now signaling that the ball will belong to San Antonio.
Right, they're saying that they tried to steal the tap. It'll be interesting to see in this first quarter if Detroit changes their defensive schemes. And by that we mean early double teaming, possibly on dribblers, especially Ginobili, or hard, maybe traps, and also maybe taking the traps out past the top of the circle. Let's see what happens if there is a change in their philosophy.
Manu Ginobili now will come over. He will inbound the ball right in front of us. Nazr Mohammed was here a moment ago. Stuttering start to the game. But here we go. And it's knocked away by Ben Wallace. And Wallace with a jam, and a foul is called. You talk about a perfect start for a ball club.
Talking to Popovich today, his #1 concern, turnovers. You cannot turn the ball over here tonight. You must limit them, because the turnover will get them out on the break. The layup will get the building going, and then momentum.
And then you have a 42% lifetime free throw shooter making the free throw. So it took 4 seconds for the steal. Popovich said the other night before game 2 he really feared Ben Wallace after his performance in game 1. Ben did not step up in game 2, but comes out flying in game 3. Here's Bowen, and we've got a foul. Offensive. And Ginobili's hurt.
Yes, he did. He got it right in the knee. Happened right in front of us. There was a collision. Let's see what they're doing. They're bringing Brent Barry in right now.
Very quickly, Barry off the bench.
Now keep an eye right there. All right, it was a knee-to-knee deal. Now let's just hope that it's a stinger rather than anything serious.
So Barry comes in. Popovich would love to start the game again after that beginning. Wallace the three-point play. Ginobili out at least for the moment. Barry is in. There goes Wallace inside. Gets it back. Batted up by Bowen. And San Antonio will start into the front court with Parker bringing it in.
Now at home in games 1 and 2, the excellent ball movement from one side of the floor to the other caused problems from a defensive standpoint for Detroit.
Mohammed on a turnaround.
We want to bring up the X factor we talked about in games 1 and 2. Mohammed and Ori, who will replace him, are averaging in this series now 18 points and 11 rebounds. Now that is a major contribution at one spot.
Here's Hamilton. Hamilton's hitting 33% in the series coming into the game. Prince gets doubled, in trouble, and gets fouled.
I like the aggressiveness of San Antonio. Anytime that you have a primetime score down in the low box around that baseline area, they are coming strong with that double team, and they have in games 1 and 2.
And that's two fouls on Mohammed.
That's big. That's very, very big, because Mohammed has been consistent. He's given them the points and the rebounding, and especially the offensive rebounding with 2 shot blocks a game.
Robert Horry in the game for him. Hamilton missing his first effort of the night. So San Antonio has already gone to the bench for 2 substitutions in the first minute and a half of the game. And then Barry from outside.
But,
yeah.
Now that's Brent Barry's first field goal, but we know that during the playoffs he has been scoring 12 points a game during the season, a major contributor playing 24, 25 minutes.
Those were his first points of this series. And Billups comes away with the offensive rebound. And Wallace has it knocked away by Horry.
Now for a point guard, Chauncey Billups just does not give you points, good decisions, assists. Throughout this series and the playoffs, he's giving you 5 rebounds a game. That's big for a point guard.
Inbounding in front of you, saw Ginobili working on his knee, flexing it. He had to come out of the game just seconds into the game. Here's Rasheed Wallace.
Well, if he backs you down to that area, if Horry does not hold him off, he'll have a field day. The key thing is to keep him involved in the game for all of the minutes that he's out there, 33 to 36.
Ben Barry, Father Rick, was in San Antonio the other night. Can't make the layup. Prince comes away with it for Detroit. Tayshaun looking to get high. He was 1 for 7 the other night. Horry guarding Wallace. Moves in on him again. Off the glass. Rasheed Wallace.
See, that's a very tough cover. In games 1 and 2, Duncan would be on Wallace. And then you make your substitution with about 4 minutes to go in the quarter. But right now, Horry has him, and you must take advantage of that because Wallace can shoot up over the top at will.
Duncan, guarded by Ben Wallace, the defensive player of the year, and it's blocked. And then Bowen's able to tap it, but out of bounds it goes. Detroit has it.
Well, Piston fans, Piston coaches, Piston players have been waiting for Ben to really step up now with a dominant game on the boards and in the shot block.
And there goes Billups all the way, but too hard off the glass. Now Duncan to Barry. Horry comes out of the corner all the way to the basket, and you've got Wallace in there again, but this time a foul.
As you watch this game and you appreciate what San Antonio will do out on the break, when they have an advantage 3-on-2, 4-on-3, they are very good finishers in the open floor, but if not, this is where they hurt you in the three-point game with the kickouts out to the wing.
Horry injuring his shoulder, at least slightly, but not to the extent he has to come out of the game. You've got Ginobili on the bench. You've got Mohammed with 2 fouls already for the Spurs. Here's the Horry play.
Yeah, the foul was over his shoulder. You could see it from the back. But that's what you like about what's going on here. In games 1 and 2, the ability of San Antonio to put the ball down on the floor. Not just with their 3 perimeter players, Bowen, Ginobili, or Parker, but also at their 4 position, whether it be Duncan or Horry, taking you off the dribble and putting fouls on the front line of Detroit.
Horry makes 1 of 2. The Piston lead is 1, 8.5 minutes remaining in the opening quarter in Auburn Hills. Billups with Parker on him. Hamilton trying to get free, but Bowen sticking to him like glue as he has all series. Prince feeds back to Rasheed. Doesn't get the bounce. Duncan clear out.
Now, that's the second easy basket that they have missed inside of 3 feet. Now, you know, we harped on that a lot there in game 2, but that was a major factor in them falling behind. They must score inside of 6 to 8 feet.
Bowen. Duncan comes out. 15 feet away, and Duncan is whistled for the offensive foul.
Now that was beautiful positioning by a big man. Now just watch the quickness of feet. See, he anticipated where Duncan was going. The elbow went out, caught Ben Wallace right in the number, and then naturally, we know that Tim Duncan can't knock Ben Wallace down. No. If Ben Wallace is a draw outside the building. But here, a little bit of a flop, but a little bit of a blow in the chest.
Rasheed misses the layup, but Wallace is there, and Ben Wallace is off to a great start. This was what Popovich feared the other night. Didn't happen.
Back at the Palace of Auburn Hills, where the Pistons lead by 3, and the San Antonio Spurs have taken a little bit of a hit early in this game. Manu Ginobili, who has been the star of this series, collided with Tayshaun Prince, took a knee to his own left knee. It turns out it is a thigh contusion. He is returning to the game, but we saw what a thigh contusion did to Shaquille O'Neal in the playoffs earlier. Manu is coming back. They put some Flexall above that knee. Flexall, Al, is basically like Ben Gay. We know that's used to just keep the muscle loose and warm. He's back, as you see. We'll see how it impacts him, Al.
And take a look at that, Michelle. On the court for 48 minutes, plus 14 is San Antonio, but when you sit him down in the playoffs, they would wind up losing on a 48-minute basis by 5 points. Here goes Bowen inside, has it knocked away, but Duncan is right there.
I like the Detroit defense, though, Al. I know they gave up the second opportunity, but they got the shot block, and the rotations were there. We're seeing a lot of fire, a lot of spark here in their movements.
Richard Hamilton, look at Bowen. All over him, but Hamilton is able to free up enough for the basket. 11-8.
Well, you know, they need to get Hamilton off and Rasheed Wallace.
Tony Parker. Ori gets in there for the offensive rebound.
You're not discounting Ori. You've got to put a body on him and chase him, because he will go 10 to 12 feet to get a loose ball.
Rasheed Wallace knocks it out of bounds. 16 on the 24. 11-8 Detroit. Parker inbounding. Now Ginobili, his first touch since he had to come off the floor in the opening seconds of the game. And then his bounce pass inside is picked off by Tayshaun Prince.
That was an excellent switch on the pick and a roll with the switch man fronting Duncan, looking for the pass.
Nice move. Billups to Wallace. Ben Wallace.
Beautiful pass, great execution. They were relying on the rotation.
And then Parker answers. 13-10 Detroit. Ginobili, in the brief time in which he's played tonight, has already turned the ball over 3 times. The hallmark of the way San Antonio played in the first 2 games was to protect the ball, and they did it extremely well. Hamilton against Bowen. 2 in a row for Rip.
Yeah, I like that. They're running him on the baseline to the weak side so that he's posting up. No double team is coming because they feel that Bowen can take him one-on-one. Both scores came off of excellent head fake.
And you have a defensive 3-second call here.
Defensive 3-second violation against Detroit.
Yeah, right now is on Rasheed Wallace. Rasheed came right out to Joey Crawford. He wanted him to explain it to him because he honestly thought that he had good coverage.
Ginobili shoots the technical, and that's his first point of the game. Rajan Nesterovic will come into the game, replacing Robert Ori.
Right now, what you have to do is you know that you need Ori for major minutes later. You know that Nesterovic is a proven playoff player. He played the first 77 games for you before he was replaced after an injury. And unfortunately for him, he's never been able to get back in there.
Wallace is there again. Nesterovic, meanwhile, has played only 4 minutes in the first 2 games in this series, and it's off him. And with 18 on the 24, Detroit to inbound.
But it's nice to bring in a guy 7 feet who is an excellent defender, who can block shots and rebound, and who is also playoff experience.
Hamilton working off a screen, but he's picked up by Nesterovic. Now
got a mismatch
Rasheed,
here.
yep. And they can't exploit it, but Rasheed gets it back. Prince, Bowen is on him. And Ginobili comes away with the ball.
We know that Prince is struggling. We don't want to harp on it. We just want to bring out the point that the majority of his shots are short. He just has to relax a little bit.
And Bowen, on his 34th birthday, celebrates with a 3. 15-14 Pistons.
Well, Bruce Bowen, you know, he'll attempt in this series. Now he's averaging 5 attempts a game. Detroit will lay off him until he proves that he can hit consistently.
From the corner, Prince again.
Yep. Everything's off the front of the rim now. I see Parker's looking at this right now. He feels he can take Prince right off the dribble.
And he lays it up from the lane, and that's short. And Wallace gets it out quickly to Billups. Hamilton now with Duncan on him. Drives by him. Can't put it in.
I like that, though. Challenge Duncan, force Duncan to play you. You never know when you get down in there. You pick up a foul on a big man. Rip actually gets by Duncan and gets a high percentage shot.
Oh, and Wallace almost stole it again, but this time he commits the foul as he goes by Ginobili.
Well, Ben Wallace leads all the playoff players with 34 steals. Now this is he just banged, see? Now it was excellent position, but by reaching with his right arm, he takes right into Ginobili and knocks him back.
First foul on Ben Wallace. Second team foul. Manu Ginobili. And Manu Ginobili is able to knock down his first field goal of the game to make it 17-15. San Antonio on a three-pointer.
Now look, this guy is shooting 67% in threes. So you know that when you pick him up, especially with a potential knee injured here, you've got to close him out.
Chauncey Billups gets inside and gets fouled.
This is what we meant when we came on the show by saying Chauncey Billups has got to be more aggressive. He can take his man down in here and post Parker up at will and stay within the offense. And by doing that, he will put the pressure on San Antonio to double team. They know that Parker cannot play Billups one-on-one. The problem, you foul Billups, he's an 89% foul shooter during the season and also during playoff time.
That had been a 7-0 San Antonio run, and Billups with a three-point play to give Detroit the lead at 18-17 with a little more than 3 minutes to play in the period. Detroit 14 points in the paint, only 2. And what a block! Wallace everywhere, but Naserovic gets it back and puts it in. But Ben Wallace is a monster in this quarter.
Al, he needs a little help here in picking up the loose balls. That's the second shot block that San Antonio recovered and laid the ball up into the basket.
Spurs by 1. Lindsey Hunter in off the bench. And Ginobili puts his hands up and gets called for the foul. And that's 2 on Manu.
Defense, you know, to this team is what we hang our hats on. So, you know, coming out on the defensive end, that's when we win games at. You know, everybody on this team know that we can, you know, score the basketball, but what we take most pride in is getting stopped, forcing the other team to do things they're really not comfortable with doing.
Ben Wallace hadn't done much in the first 2 games. What's he done tonight? He's played 9 minutes. He scored 7 points, and that's unusual because you don't think about Ben offensively. He has 5 blocks. The NBA Finals record is 8 in a game. And the guys who've done it, it's been done 5 times, include Shaquille and Olajuwon, Bill Walton, another of those, Patrick Ewing, and Tim Duncan's done it. 8 in a game. Wallace has 5 in 9.5 minutes.
You love his energy. He's everywhere tonight. He's making things happen. But like we said, the other 4 players cannot just watch him block these shots. What they must do is garner the basketball and savor the possession.
Hamilton had to get it off with the shot clock winding down. So San Antonio with the ball. Kicking down to 2 minutes left in the quarter. Spurs up by a point.
Now, in game 2, the Spurs hit 11 threes. That's major in a game like this. Already, they've made 3 in this quarter, and that's the reason for the lead.
Parker with a long 2 from the top of the key. 21-18 San Antonio. Parker with 4 points. Ginobili has 4 points.
With this unit out here right now, Rip Hamilton and also McDyess on the box right there are your key people.
And there is Antonio McDyess with a fall away from the baseline to make it a 1-point game. Under a minute and a half. Parker, Hamilton picks him up and gets it up, and he loves to go to the hoop. The majority of his shots, the vast majority taken inside 6 feet. Example right there.
Now, there was very little room for him to get through. And one thing you know, that when he comes off that pick, he gets in the paint, you know he's going to test the interior defense by snaking his way to the basket.
Lindsey Hunter underneath. Comes up short. Got no leverage on the shot. Barry. Passing it back out. Ori. Doesn't pass up many of those. And then Barry puts it in with the reverse. Wow.
Well, you just love their patience. They were not ready, and that's what you like. When Ori had that open shot, they do not like to take quick shots. So what they will do in their half-court sets, they'll keep making the extra pass and then try to get down inside of you again.
And with Chauncey Billups driving, Joey Crawford signaling a defensive 3 seconds. Duncan will come back into the game.
Now this is Brent Barry going to the basket, coming up underneath, allowing the defender to think that he had a potential shot block. Use the basket to ward off the defender.
Billups shoots the technical off the defensive 3. Rasheed Wallace will come back in. Tayshaun Prince will come back in for the final half minute. Hamilton will get a rest, and so will Ben Wallace. .14 on the 24-second clock. Wallace got free, and it will go out of bounds to San Antonio off Antonio McDyess with 20.6 seconds, and the shot clock now turned off.
With all of the defensive effort, the energy that we're seeing from Detroit, you're still 4 points down because you must concentrate on the three-point game and then also on the dribble penetration from the wing.
Detroit has a foul to give. And then Parker whips it back outside the Bowen for a 3. And it gets tipped up and in by Duncan. The final second, it's stolen by Bowen, who launches one that doesn't go. But the San Antonio Spurs, despite a monster first quarter by Ben Wallace, 27-21 San Antonio. Start the second quarter. Al Michaels, UB Brown, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott in Auburn Hills, Michigan. We've been talking about Tony Parker. Classic example here of what he loves to do. Either off the break or with dribble penetration, he loves to go inside. He's only 6'2". You take a look at this. More than half of his shots were taken from this area. That's inside 6 feet. All the other shots outside 6 feet. So he goes in there all the time, and here it was. That was in the season. Here it is in this series, 19 inside, 13 from beyond 6 feet. Rarely from beyond the three-point line. Tony Parker lives inside.
Well, that takes a lot of courage, Al, when you're his size, because you know you're going to have a tremendous amount of contact. Once he gets down in there, not only is he not afraid, but also he can finish, and he finishes with either hand.
And here's Tayshaun Prince scoring for the Pistons to start the second quarter. And for Prince, his first basket of the game. Beno Udrih is in the game for the first time. He's the only rookie on either team, and he's had an impact in this series and throughout the playoffs. Ori tips it back out to the Slovenian Udrih.
Okay, we want to bring up this point. That's their 5th offensive rebound. They've already scored 3 field goals in second shot attempts. So Detroit, everyone has got to get back in there and board so they can get out on the break and get some easy baskets.
That was a McDyess steal. Hamilton then whips it around to McDyess, all the way over Barry, is short. Barry with the rebound.
If you're playing in that game and you made that curl move, you were looking for McDyess to go to the basket. He should have been on the move. He had a dunk, but by catching the ball that far out, you end up with a fadeaway jump shot.
And Robinson is in the game for the first time, gets it back to Ori. That's contested, saved at the baseline. Back comes the Pistons. Hamilton, alley-oop to Prince. And that'll bring everybody to their feet.
San Antonio, the defense was back. 3-on-3. Maybe this will get Prince going. He needs to get more involved in the game. You're talking about a young man who averaged over 14 points for you during the first 3 rounds of this playoff. I'll just keep an eye to the left of your screen. That's just excellent eye contact. They love to throw him the lob on the break. Right now in this series, he's been struggling. He's only scoring 7 points. but more important, the shooting percentage. He's down below 30%. So you just got to get him off so he gets his confidence back.
10 on the clock. Duncan gets doubled as he goes in, has it knocked away. Here comes Prince leading the charge. He stops and gets it blocked from behind, and also
boy.
What are they going to call this?
A technical foul. So technical foul on Duncan. They get a foul on the release on the shot.
Right.
Now Prince thought as he released that shot that he was hit in the hand as the ball. Keep an eye on it. Now watch to the right of your screen. See, there's the hit right there on the hand. So when the call was for the two-shot foul, then we had whatever was said, and Joey, unfortunately, for Duncan, heard it.
And Billups goes to the free throw line. That's the technical. Popovich going over things with Joe Crawford. Mentioned earlier, Crawford refereeing his 35th game in an NBA Finals. And now Prince will go to the line with a chance to give Detroit the lead. Meanwhile, the foul was on Duncan, and that's his second. So he, Muhammad, and Ginobili each have 2. No Piston has 2. The first of 2 is good for Prince. Here's Stuart Scott. Stu.
Al, the guy at the foul line, Tayshaun Prince, by far the quietest guy in the locker room last season. I mean, he barely spoke to us. But this year I asked him, I said, Tayshaun, who's the quietest guy? And he said, oh, it's Antonio McDyess, the new guy. Well, of course, I got to go do my homework. So I go to Antonio and I say, look, Tayshaun said you're the quietest guy on the team. And Antonio just started laughing. He said, Tayshaun, he said, he doesn't even talk. When he talks, he whispers. He said, I've never really heard anything he said. He said, at least I smile and I laugh. Tayshaun never changes expressions. His expression this game so far, though, a lot more energy than last time, Al.
No question about that. He had 3 points the other night, 11 in game 1, and that turnover belongs to San Antonio, and they turn it over to Detroit. The Pistons up by 1, 28-27. San Antonio hot from the field. Pistons a little cooler, but Detroit on top. 7 blocks, 5 by Wallace. Ginobili with a rebound off the Prince miss.
You're in the second quarter. There are 9.5 minutes to go. You have Duncan with 2 fouls. You cannot go asleep. Rasheed Wallace must attack Tim Duncan down in the low post area and force him to play him.
Turned around over McDyess. Lead seesawing. The Spurs now by 1.
You know, it's nice to stay with people that might be hot. But the key thing in this game right now is you have excellent half-court defense, San Antonio below. The thing is go at Duncan and force Duncan to play you.
Hamilton got free off the curl but missed. Duncan with the rebound. Now Ginobili, he has 2 fouls. Free for 3. Robinson missing. Loose ball underneath. Speaking of changes in statistics and how they're compiled and all that, just to go back to those blocks, the 8 blocks, the NBA record in a finals game. Ben Wallace with 5. They didn't start keeping blocks officially until 73. So Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain had ended their careers before that became an official statistic. Duncan from the baseline. Rebound to Rasheed Wallace.
Excellent pressure that time by McDyess.
Now McDyess tries to get by Duncan, has the ball knocked away.
Yeah, he tripped. And that was unfortunate because he had a half a step lead on Duncan.
And then Duncan gets inside. The shot doesn't go, but he will go to the free throw line.
If you are going to gamble and go for the steal in a low post area, you better get it. Because if you don't get it, you're in a heap of load of trouble in this series, because the San Antonio guys can put the ball at a high percentage.
Foul was on McDyess. That's the second team foul against Detroit. Duncan is at the free throw line for a pair. Let's check in with Michelle.
Al, I asked Greg Popovich to describe Tim Duncan's personality, and he said, remember the Simon and Garfunkel song, I Am a Rock, I Am an Island? Well, Pop said, nobody really is an island, but Tim might be. He said all you get from him is what you get from his actions. And in that sense, I call him a stoic. He does the right things in the right way, consistently, not in a Boy Scout sort of manner, but in a professional, serious manner, and he doesn't care what anyone thinks. So we saw an unusual technical foul by Tim Duncan. That was not his Boy Scout part, Al. That was his other part.
Not right there. And he also he has a pretty good sense of humor. Very wry, very understated. What else is new? Well, everything he does is understated.
That's right. He's a very bright young man.
Rasheed Wallace got doubled as Luger came over, and the ball goes out of bounds to San Antonio.
Well, you can see the double team is coming once the player puts the ball on the floor. Up until that time, they will allow the player to make a move or take that fadeaway jump shot. If you are going to put it down to try to advance, San Antonio is coming hard.
Big Ben is back in the game. So we've seen a lot of both benches, and right now looking out on the floor, you've got the 10 guys who started the game.
Oh, well,
Mohammed has that
out. 2-on-1.
Wallace takes it from Billups, and despite juggling it, thought he got fouled, but makes the basket. No whistle.
That was an incredible catch, okay? The fact that he saved that ball. He's a big man, 6'11", and he was able to save that and then score.
Duncan. Ben Wallace with the rebound. Detroit with a chance to take the lead. And they do. Hamilton.
Well, Hamilton has scored all of his field goals on that right side of the floor, down at the midpoint on the baseline.
Hamilton 6 points tonight, 3 of 7 from the field. Parker loses the ball.
3-on-1.
Great defense inside. And then Billups will stop and pull up from three-point land, and it doesn't go, and Mohammed takes it off the glass.
That's great when you score, but when you have a 3-on-1, you want to get the ball up to the lead guy, and you're going to get a short layup. Force the defender to react.
Parker off a Duncan screen. Mohammed tries to save and does. Spurs to reset. Down by 1. San Antonio, 6:23 remaining in the half, and Tony Parker asked for a timeout. Well, David Stern and the entire NBA staff, they worked very hard to make the NBA an international sport. These finals are broadcast in the following languages, 45 different languages. Hubie and I will be doing the game in Icelandic. Some of you probably think we're doing it in a foreign language tonight, but hey, what can we tell you? Over 3 billion people have the opportunity to watch and listen. Tony Parker, of course, grew up in France. The game is on in France. Bruno Poulain and George Eddy are the announcers.
On a de grandes chances d'avoir un club. Croise les doigts. Pourquoi pas les Spurs avec Tony. Et donc, pour faire le camp d'entraînement d'avant-saison, on aura une excellente initiative. Il y avait Jordi Bertomeu, le patron de l'Euroleague, l'espagnol, côté de David Stern, pour annoncer cela.
L'idée est de faire des matchs, évidemment, avec à la fin une sorte de tournoi final avec les 2 meilleurs clubs NBA et le champion et le vice-champion de l'Euroleague. C'est pas mal du tout.
C'est ça. Et puis maintenant, on est en train de nous écouter dans la salle. Merci, ok. On va écouter un peu, non? Oui, voilà, il prend bien. C'est très très fort.
Voilà, le retour pour Ben Wallace avec une seule fois qui peut remonter le ballon pour les Pistons.
All right, merci, boys. Too bad we couldn't have put a Tony Parker basket in there for the guys, but you heard him talk about Parker and David Stern. And Hamilton covers up, looked like he might have gotten hit and then has it knocked away. Hubie, all you know about French is what? Foie gras?
All I know is we have 420 players in this league, and we have 76 international players now. And when you think about it, when David Stern came in 1984, The games were played on delayed tape during the week. And when you think about it now, tonight live, 214 countries. That's absolutely amazing.
Well, Richard Hamilton, who wears that mask, it looked like he got hit, I thought, in the eye. And, of course, if you get hit in the eye, some of the shield will come into play here. Stuart, what do you see from down there?
Well, Al, Rip just got hit across the face, and you know he's very worried about that. He's broken his nose 3 times. That's 3 nose operations. He wears that mask because he basically has no cartilage left in his nose. If he didn't wear the mask and he got his nose broken again, it would basically just collapse. That would be the end of his career. He took his mask off, actually, earlier this season for a few days, but he said he didn't feel comfortable, and he started to second-guess himself because he would think about it when he drove the basket. So he'll wear the mask for the rest of his career. As for getting hit like he just did, he said whenever he gets hit on the face with that mask, it just spreads out the blow to his entire face. He actually had the mask cut him one time above the eye, but he said, I'll take a cut above the eye before a broken nose anytime.
Well, he puts it back on right now, and the ball comes out to Rasheed Wallace, who misses, and Ginobili comes away with it for San Antonio. And almost on cue, there's a halftime feature tonight, which you'll see on Rip Hamilton. Tony Parker to Ori. Back to Parker. 6 on the clock. And Tony gets hit on his way to the basket and fouled.
When you look at the Parker and you look at his game, see, he's now so much more under control than he was just a few years ago. And the reason is he saw the switch. He just lengthened his dribble going parallel to the basket. And what happens? They get the switch, they get the mismatch. Now he takes the big man to the basket, and you pick up the foul.
Duncan back in. Mohammed goes out. Ball was inbounded with 14 on the clock. Spurs trying to take the lead again.
There's another one. Now Ginobili will take it through.
Wallace got just enough of it. Hunter now to Prince, who spots up. Parker. Ginobili guarded by Wallace in this sequence. Is Ben Wallace on Duncan.
Great anticipation.
Another steal by Big Ben.
How about it? 35 steals now in the playoffs. Number 1 for all rounds. Just outstanding.
2 steals for him to go with 5 blocks, and Hamilton.
That's his patented area. Coming off that hard curl. But if you follow him, he's going to come right and get that medium range game. 15 to 17-foot jump shot.
Parker living in the lane.
See, the big fella's never rotated over. So if you're going to stand there and hug a post guy, Parker is going to lay it up in your face every single time because he can finish with that left hand.
Parker and Duncan each with 8 to lead San Antonio. Hamilton now leading the Pistons.
Yeah, you got the mismatch right there.
5 seconds on the clock. Rasheed Wallace on the turnaround to drop it.
See, it's good to see it. If you're going to get that mismatch, Parker on Wallace, you've got to go down in low, make the pass, and let him operate.
Duncan will work it back to Bowen. 3-point attempt for Bruce Bowen from the corner on his 34th birthday to tie the game at 36.
Now that's big. See, that's their 4th 3 that they've made in this half. They're shooting an excellent percentage. Once again, penetration inside, kick it out. Look for the 3.
In terms of three-pointers, Detroit in the series, won for 14 from three-point range. It was in game 1, it was Billups. Here's a 3-point attempt by Hunter. Now 1 for 15.
Yeah, we had a collision here with Parker and Wallace.
Both get up now. Wallace a little more slowly. Parker. Then Wallace cut him off.
That was excellent coverage by Wallace.
Tony still dribbling. Shovels it off. And you get a foul called as he threw it over to Bowen. What strikes you, Yubi, at this particular point?
Well, the inability of Ginobili to be an offensive threat. That's the first thing that hits you from San Antonio. The second thing, the 9 turnovers, because Detroit has a 9-0 advantage in fast break points. And that was Pop's thing to his team. Limit the turnovers, keep them out of the open floor, and the momentum.
Greg Popovich seeking his 3rd title. He was the head coach in '99 when they went to the finals and beat the Knicks in a truncated season because of the lockout. Then 2 years ago over the Nets. Larry Brown seeking his 2nd NBA title. It would be back-to-back for Larry. Rasheed Wallace, 10 on the clock, knocked away by Manu Ginobili. Detroit to inbound, the game tied in 2.5. And Brent Barry coming back into the game. Ginobili will get a rest.
Well, right now, I think Popovich is trying to save Ginobili so he does not pick up another foul.
Shot clock down to 4. Hamilton knocked away, and it's a 24-second violation. Good defense by San Antonio to create the turnover.
Anytime that you make a move on that baseline, you can count on it. You're going to be double teamed. Not only with your bag, but they're going to run the man to you and cut off that lane drive. They've been doing an excellent job on Detroit trying to eliminate the baseline layups in their half-court offense.
Only 9 points in the period for the Spurs in almost 10 minutes. Duncan. And Tim Duncan from outside, and the Spurs have the lead again by 2.
Oh, you like that, Ty. That was beautifully executed. They ran a decoy double screen to the right of the lane, which opened up Duncan, mainly because Detroit was rotating to help out.
Oh, Barry nearly stole it, but it winds up in the hands of Tayshaun Prince to tie the game.
Hey, listen, Big Ben said, look, I'm not only rebounding, I'm blocking shots, I'm scoring points, but how about my passing? That was a beautiful pass.
Tremendous half by Ben Wallace. Tied at 38. Duncan. Tipped up, kept alive.
Oh, here you go.
Phillips now.
3 on 2.
Down the middle.
Nice.
To Wallace, and then what a block as Horry comes out of nowhere to knock it away, but Detroit maintains possession.
You love Robert Horry's game. He never gives up on anything. He's all on the loose balls. He's take charges. He's running. He's jumping. And that was just a beautiful time block.
Now Parker. He backs it out under a minute to play.
That's one of the very few times that he had a head of steam where he could not go all the way.
Now Horry hits a 3, and Robert Horry, if he wins a title here, this would be his 6th. This guy will need a new safe deposit box, and along the way, he's just broken Michael Jordan's record for career 3-pointers in the finals, and Joey Crawford stops play with a whistle here. Parker with a foul. Robert Horry.
Now this is Robert at his best, and this has been, when you play 2 great defensive teams, and also you're San Antonio on the road, you've got to pick up easy baskets. And you can see right there, Robert Horry with 43 threes now at playoff time, passes Michael Jordan. The thing is, you need easy points. And right now in this first half, they have made, San Antonio, 5 threes. So you pick up 5 extra points. They have 3 second shot baskets. That's big in a half.
Phillips gets bumped and will go to the line. Foul is on the rookie Beno Udrih. Chauncey Billups, the MVP finals last year when they knocked off the Lakers in 5 games, has 5 points tonight. Tim Duncan, 2-time finals MVP. Diana Taurasi and the Phoenix Mercury will be in action this Saturday against the New York Liberty in the WNBA primary game here on ABC at 4 o'clock Eastern time.
See, right now, Greg Popovich made a move so that he has Horry, Brent Barry, and Bowen in there. 3 key high 3% shooters.
Phillips missing the second. San Antonio a chance for a 2-for-1 should they so choose. and Parker gets fouled. Parker went to the hoop, got hammered, goes down, and Tony's on the deck. So we've seen Ginobili shaken up early. Ori
keep an eye right here
a little bit, and now you got Tony Parker.
Ooh.
Boy, does he get whacked.
Yes, he does. He gets right across the eye, right there, that left eye.
But he's up. Tony's up and walking back. Squinting, blinking.
That was a very strong move going to the basket. That's his job in this type of a situation.
22nd timeout was taken by Popovich with 29.1 seconds remaining in the half. San Antonio up 41-39, and Parker will go to the free throw line for a pair.
When you attack the basket as much as Tony Parker, you know that there's going to be a ton of contact. You're constantly challenging big people. Now that foul was by a guard who got caught up behind. Chauncey Billups goes for a hard block, catches him in the eye. And you look at his attendance during the season. He only missed 2 games during the year. And you brought out a great point, Al. You know, over 50% of his shots are down inside of that 6-foot area.
He lives there. He makes 1 of 2. He's the leading scorer in the game with 9, and Billups goes all the way to the basket. And the shot clock is off, so San Antonio is up by 1, and they can play it to the end here.
Now, in this situation, look for a high screen by Nesterovic, and then they'll play off it. And you have to watch out for the spot-ups.
There it is. They get it out to Ori, but Wallace goes out there with him. Parker gets it back with a second and forces a shot. Good Detroit defense at the end. They got what they were looking for, but Detroit was equal to the moment. They're able to keep the lead to 1 for San Antonio in a very tough first half in Game 3. San Antonio 42, Detroit 41. Let's go to Michelle Tafoya.
All right, with Tony Parker, before the game, Coach Popovich stressed we've got to value the ball, and you guys have at least 9 turnovers in the first half. Why is it happening?
They play with a lot of energy. They play at home, and we have to be patient. We have to take care of the ball. It's huge on the road. If we don't do that, it's a lot of easy points for them, fast break, and we have to do better than that.
On that last drive to the basket, you took quite a blow to the face. How is it feeling?
I'm okay. I'm okay. That's how Detroit plays. They're going to play very physical, aggressive. You just have to protect the ball, go strong, and see what happens.
Thanks for stopping, Tony. Al?
Only 6 turnovers for Detroit, and there's the comparison as far as the bench is concerned, with 11 points off the Spurs bench and just 2 for the Detroit Pistons, as Larry Brown has played only 7 guys today.
Yeah, well, he's kind of stayed with that, you know, in all 3 games. Arroyo gets a few minutes here or there, but Arroyo sprains his left ankle in Game 2. So I think he'll be hesitant unless someone gets in foul trouble.
Detroit inbounds to start the second half, and Chauncey Billups with it, guarded by Parker.
Chauncey Billups has got to get going from an offensive standpoint. Right now, you know, he's just sitting on 8 points. I think he can make a lot more things happen.
Prince outside. Here goes Billups now. Passes up a 3. 3 on the shot clock, and Rasheed Wallace forced to shoot as the clock wound down. Ginobili with a rebound.
Yeah, that was a sloppy play, and I just did not think that Rasheed really was able to get off a high percentage release.
Duncan turns, and as he does, he gets handled by Rasheed Wallace. The foul is on Wallace. That's his 2nd of the game.
As far as getting to the foul line, Game 3 reminds you of Game 1. Both teams shot 14 and 15. And so far at halftime, San Antonio with 7 attempts, Detroit with only 8.
Duncan free for a long 2.
And you must continue to keep pushing. I know Detroit sometimes likes to lope down the floor, but you've got to get the easy baskets. And you've done a nice job at halftime with 11-0 on the break.
Prince saves underneath, comes back out to Hamilton. Parker cuts him off. It sets it up for Billups, and he launches one from beyond the arc to give Detroit the lead.
Well, You know that he shoots it over 40%. He did it during the year as well as in the playoffs. One of the better three-point shooters that we have in the league.
Only the second three-pointer for Detroit in the finals, and that is answered by Bowen. Who else?
Yeah, see, that's just knowing where the defense is going to be rotating from. Once you get down in the paint area, the diagonal right corner is open because Detroit is going to rotate out of that corner to cover the low post people.
So the teams trade threes, and then Hamilton gets it blocked, and he's fouled by Duncan. Third on Tim Duncan.
All right, keep an eye now in the middle of the floor. Now watch what happens as Bowen clears to the right corner. See, they hang inside. You can't do that. See, you know that they are making threes from the perimeter. That is their 6th three in this game. And you can say in a tight basketball game, you cannot give up the extra points. Already they have 6.
That's Hamilton's 9th point. Phillips leads Detroit now with 11 points. And Hamilton joins him in double figures. And Detroit has the lead. Rasheed Wallace is on Ginobili. Then he dishes it off. Duncan. Prince on him. And Tim Duncan will get fouled. Hamilton came over to help. Foul is on Hamilton.
That's discipline. Tim Duncan could have forced up an uncontested 18-foot shot from the baseline. That's not his area. Because there was time on the shot clock, he just slowly maneuvered into the painted area and forced the double team.
Tim Duncan at the free throw line, where Donati is 2 for 2. Ties the game. Log on NBAstore.com. Pre-order your official NBA Finals Championship DVD. Duncan, the only Spur in double figures. 11 points. Ginobili has been red hot in the first 2 games of the series. Has just 4 points, which is what he had at halftime of game 1 in San Antonio the other night, and then he had a phenomenal second half. Spurs by 1. Very balanced scoring for Detroit. Phillips missing the 3. Muhammad up high for the rebound.
That was a good release, good shot. He had nice flow, and we know that that's one of his favorite areas to release for the three-point attempt.
Duncan. Wallace staying right there. Tim backs off. Prince with the rebound.
That was pretty. Quick feet. Ben Wallace, quick feet. Plus he's got the body strength that Duncan cannot run over the top of him.
Phillips at the point. Now Prince.
You got a mismatch here. You got to get a good high percentage shot.
Drives on Mohammed. And scores left-handed to make it 48-47.
Now that's a major part of Prince's game. Face up 18 to 20 feet, take the man into the lane, shoot the hook. We have not seen enough of that in this series.
And he's left-handed to make that an even easier play for him. Detroit up by 1. Here goes Ginobili, another southpaw missing underneath. Muhammad is there. And it's Ben Wallace who comes away livid. Thought he had the block, instead he gets the foul. That is his 2nd foul. No Piston has more than 2. The only man in the game for either team with more than 2 is Tim Duncan, who has 3.
Once again, this is where San Antonio is so tough. When they shoot, you must block out their big people. Muhammad, Ori, Duncan are fierce on the offensive boards. Now this is their 4th score on second shots. They say, well, that's not a lot. Well, in a low-scoring game, it's a lot.
Nazim Mohammed came over in the middle of the season from the Knicks. And he's got pretty close to 2 more months worth of action, because that's about how long it takes to get from the end of the regular season to the end of the finals. And you've got a lane violation here.
Now, Al, Mohammed plays only a half a game, and he's just consistent. He's perfect for this team because of his length and the shot block. He gives them 2 shot blocks a game, gets you 8 points, gets you 6 to 7 rebounds, and he shoots over 50%. Fits like a glove.
And Popovich likes to use him early, starts the game with him normally, and then in the 3rd quarter. And then you don't see very much of him in the 4th.
Well, that's Ori time.
Yep.
That's when they slide Duncan into the center position.
Hamilton. That's his bread and butter right there. Off the curl. Detroit up by 3.
They're doing a better job in getting Bowen on that screen down. Bowen is trailing him, and he's more than a step behind.
And an offensive foul on Bowen.
Now keep an eye on this down screen. I see Bowen's playing him on the inside. And here comes the screen right here. Oh, you can see they could have called that a moving screen on Rasheed.
It's been about 14 minutes since either team led by more than 3. It's been that close. It's been as close as Bowen guards Hamilton. 6 on the shot clock. Off the glass.
Oh, baby. Excellent timeout. Pop is not going to let them run out on you. But how about the beautiful release and bank shot by Hamilton?
Rip Hamilton, who's really struggled in this series until tonight, has 14.6 in the quarter. Of course, he's being guarded by Bruce Bowen. Here's what he had to say.
I love that everybody believes that he stopped me. You know, I love that challenge because in my mind, I believe, like I said, I got every shot that I want to get. Every shot that I want to get. I would never, you know, want to come out and play any differently in that type game because at the end of the day, I can live with every shot.
You know, he makes a pretty good point. He had 36 shots in the first 2 games. He only hit 12 of them, but he did miss a lot of layups and otherwise easy shots.
Well, he's shooting 33% coming into tonight's game. Tonight, he's not leaving anything short. Anytime that he's getting down on the baseline, he's scoring. And I think what happened to him in games 1 and 2, he had a number of missed layups, which kind of shakes you a little bit when the ball does not go in the basket. But tonight, this is a typical game for him. He's getting his pet curl on the left side of the floor. They're opening him up on the baseline on the right side where they're giving him a one-on-one look. So he's feeling confident right now.
All Detroit starters, all 5 starters have played at least 24 minutes in the game right now that is a little less than 29 minutes old. Manu Ginobili from outside.
He's now 1 for 4 in the game. There's definitely, he's not in any type of a rhythm. There's no doubt about it.
Phillips lays it off for Rasheed Wallace. Ben with a rebound.
Great hustle. Great hustle by Ben Wallace. Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh!
Hamilton to Ben Wallace.
Oh, you can see that coming. What a great look and a terrific pass.
Eminem waving the towel. It's the biggest lead of the game. And now Tony Parker answers at the other end to bring it back to 5 at 54-49.
Now that's what you love about Parker. Now remember, Ben Wallace has 5 blocks in this game, and he is a monster inside. Parker went right into his chest and shot the ball right up over the top.
Hamilton puts his hands up looking for a foul, which he doesn't get. 6 on the clock. Phillips and Wallace falls down, and that creates the foul.
Excellent call. Mohammed grabbed Ben Wallace. Good call by the referee.
Back to the alley-oop we go.
Now this is a great pass. How's that for eye contact? Beautiful pass and terrific finish. Rip Hamilton to Ben Wallace. And remember, Wallace set that play up because he came from the high post all the way to the baseline to save that ball as it was going out of bounds.
And it's separated from Duncan, and that's knocked away by Bowen underneath, but Wallace saves again. Into Rasheed this time, but knocked away, and back come the Spurs.
Yeah, you got to step up. Now, Rip Hamilton has laid off some beautiful passes here this evening, but you must anticipate the pass. Step up to the pass so that you can make a strong catch.
Ori. Halfway through the third quarter. Rasheed feeds back to Hamilton. Ori with a rebound.
Yeah, he left that one too high. He was thinking of a shot block.
Now Ginobili will go all the way and score, and sooner or later, Manu Ginobili, you know, on a night like tonight, as was the case in the first game, he got hot that night. That made the difference. Tonight, only 6 points for him to this point.
Yeah, but he's staying within what the offense is giving him. That's only the second time that he's attempted a strong drive. Remember, he's coming into this game 27 points. Oh, boy, he got hit.
With 2 on the clock, he gets hit. There's no foul.
Yeah, I thought he definitely got hit on that play, and he was looking to the referee for the call.
Parker, look at this guy.
Wow. Yeah, that's just a beautiful finish out. Not only does he get down in there, but he can make the acrobatic finish, and he makes it look easy.
He does. Motown, and that means Kid Rock is here. Eminem is here as well. Marshall Mathers, Anita Baker is here. The Hitman is here. And Scottie Pippen as well. Former Bull. He and Jordan, that illustrious combination, combining for 6 championships. Marshall Mathers, as you know, UB, is Eminem's. Well, you don't know this? I know that's just, not only that, I have an iPod and Stuart Scott does not, which is like the most amazing thing. You and I are in the 19th century and Stuart's in the 22nd century, and Stuart Scott doesn't have an iPod. All right, now we've cleaned up the internal matters, and here we go with the game. 54-53, Detroit. 4:55. Yubi's giving me the Heisman when I go into that with Eminem. Tayshaun Prince inbound, 20 on the shot clock. Detroit up by 1. Biggest lead was 5. And Bennett Salvatore with a whistle and a foul on Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, they get Wallace on a moving screen out on that wing. You can see Larry Brown couldn't believe it. He didn't think that Wallace was moving, and it was an excellent angle because Rip Hamilton was wide open coming into the middle of the floor.
Third foul on Rasheed. Ori, a little scoop. Mohammed is there. Good, tough rebounding, and a follow by Nazim Mohammed.
Technical.
Now you've got a technical.
Yeah, Rasheed Wallace.
Yeah, you could smell that coming after the last call. So Larry Brown put his head in his hands. Then you got Rasheed going down the floor. And if he doesn't like the call, he led the league in technical fouls. And he gets one here.
Remember we tell you about being outworked. Now that is their 7th score down inside. That was just a great move by Muhammad. He did a nice spin move. Take your time, you know, regroup, and then go up strong to the basket.
Ginobili with the technical to make it 56-54. That is Rasheed Wallace's 9th technical foul of the playoffs. No one else has more than 3. 4 on the shot clock. So with Wallace on the bench to cool off, Chauncey Billups tries to heat it up and gives Detroit the lead again at 57-56.
Now Chauncey is 2 for 5 in threes right now.
And as Parker goes to the basket, the foul is on the Pistons.
Keep an eye on this replay, and you're going to see the clock is down now. You're inside of 5 seconds. Excellent extension on that shot by Ginobili. But remember we tell you about Phillips. He had an outstanding season this year, shooting the threes. He was ranked. He's up over 40% throughout the playoffs. It's part of his game.
Phillips' third foul. Duncan's going to come in with Parker at the free throw line. Mohammed will go out. That's also the 4th team foul against the Pistons. So San Antonio will go to the line from here on out in the quarter.
San Antonio keeps the pressure on you by the continual penetration going down into the lane. They're not going to stop. Ginobili and Parker are going to stay this way right to the end of this ballgame. Your defense cannot get lazy. The rotations cannot get lazy. You've got to get out and force him to pass the basketball.
Lead seesawing again. Here's Hamilton, and now Detroit has a lead, 59-58, and a game that has been close all the way.
Well, now he made a statement on the TV before that he thinks he's getting a shot. Now tonight you can see he has not been pressured at all. Every time that he comes off the screen, he's wide open.
Parker, long 2.
Yeah, they'll give him that. He's been struggling from outside, and especially outside the three-point area, but give him a lot of credit. He does not force anything up.
Ben Wallace up top.
They're trying to post Phillips on the right side of the lane.
McDyess on a turnaround. And Ben Wallace with a follow on the foul is called on the Spurs.
You love that. You love that kind of action. See, that's Ben Wallace's 6th offensive rebound in this game. Now, he chased that ball because he was on the one side of the lane, and when he moved to the right side of the basket, Parker was the only guy. Keep a look to the right. See, he's got Bowen on him, and now he's got Parker. So that was just a matter of getting himself in position. He knew that he would out-jump them and out-muscle them.
Bowen with the foul. Let's check in with Stuart Scott.
Al, it's no wonder Ben Wallace is having a monster night. Last night, his wife, Shonda, sat him down and told him about his game. Shonda said, forget the officials, forget about everybody else, just concentrate on your game. And then Ben told me before the game, he said, Shonda said, I'm rating your game, and your game is like, nah. And he said it definitely set a charge up under him because he said, usually, you know, you come home, your wife says, hey, nice game, I still love you. He said, not this time. He said, when you get a, nah, your wife is, you know, pretty much telling you that you need to step it up. And Al, if mama ain't happy at home, ain't nobody happy, you know?
No, I'll tell you what, after Barry with that 3 to tie the game 61 all, Shonda, an unpaid assistant on Larry Brown's staff, but she got the job done.
Sitting in section 110.
2:23 as Bowen commits his 3rd personal foul. 14 on the shot clock as the ball gets inbounded to Tayshaun Prince. Spin move through the lane, lost control of it. Here comes Parker. Tony free. Long 2 drop, 63-61, San Antonio.
You love his game. His game is, he understands his range now. Now, he was open at three-point range. He went right inside the lane, took that 18 to 20-foot jump shot.
Hamilton. Horry staying with him now on the switch. To Ben Wallace with 2 on the clock. And Ben comes away and holding his knee as it's dropped in by McDyess, but Wallace came away grabbing his left knee.
Well, there was a collision over on the left side of the lane. Bowen was knocked down on the ground, and then unfortunately for San Antonio, it opened up the offensive rebound.
Horry. And Wallace with the rebound. Ben comes slowly down the court, but Hunter takes it all the way in and scores. Gets fouled, Lindsey Hunter.
That's a situation where Barry had an opportunity to force a change of direction of the pass. Now keep an eye right on Hunter. He sees that he's got an opportunity here. I'm sorry, it was Parker. And you can see he had an opportunity to face him up and force him to pass the basketball. But if you're going to turn your body like that, the offensive player is going all the way.
Bowen will come out. Parker will come out. Beno Udrih will come in. Ginobili is in to wrap up the period. Hunter will go to the free throw line. Detroit has scored 24 points in the period, and it's their highest scoring quarter in the 11 played thus far in the finals. And it's thrown away.
Yeah, first time we've seen the trap.
Hamilton from Hunter, but McDyess is there.
Yep, they're in the trap again. Let's see if they go for another one. Oh, another steal.
And they do. And Hamilton will go to the basket. And McDyess will follow this time again, but no good. Under a minute to play now.
Yeah, they had the opportunity. Two great steals. Totally unexpected. First time in this game that they've shown the trap.
40 seconds. Detroit up by 5. Duncan to Horry. And it's out of bounds, and the ball will belong to San Antonio. So now there's a 7.7-second differential. 31.7 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, big thing right now is run your good play. Pop made the call from the sideline.
Ginobili. Stolen again. Here goes Hamilton on Barry.
Oh, and two.
And it will count.
Yep. Excellent call. Excellent call. A beautiful, evasive move by Hamilton. Now, good anticipation. Now watch how he avoids Barry. Right here. That was beautiful. And then, unfortunately for Horry, just a split second too late. But don't you love him running that down? See, that's a guy not giving up on anything. He came from at least 20 feet back to catch up, to try to block that shot.
Horry with a goaltend. Hamilton can't make it a three-point play. San Antonio can play for the final shot of the period. But Detroit has taken a 7-point lead. And Detroit 16-2, the differential in fast break points in the game. Under 10. Parker bounces it out to Horry, who dropped it, collects it, and then scores with 2.9 to make it a 5-point game.
You have time here now. You have time.
Hamilton from about 35 missing, and that's the way the period will end. But a good quarter for the Detroit Pistons. Fourth quarter begins. Al Michaels with Hubie Brown, Michelle Tafoya, Stuart Scott. Detroit on top 70-65 with 12 minutes of regulation to play. We've talked about the two coaches, what great pals they are. Popovich, the best man at Larry Brown's wedding. We mentioned the other night that Larry Brown had read 130 pages of James Patterson 4th of July the day of game 1, and then he finished it the next day. Handed it to one of his assistants. So I asked Popovich last night, I said, what books have you read during the finals? He said, are you crazy? I can't even pick up a magazine. So I said, you've taken so much from Larry Brown. I said, this is one thing you obviously didn't take from him. He said, are you kidding? Larry knows everything. Me, I'm just trying to catch up.
Everyone has their own way of relaxing.
A mutual admiration society, and two guys who between them have won 3 NBA championships, and Larry has an NCAA championship to go with that. San Antonio to inbound. Here we go. A big Detroit finish in the third quarter to make it a 5-point lead.
Right now at the end of 3. Fast break points, Detroit 16-2. The 13 turnovers by San Antonio, allowing Detroit to get out into the open floor.
Duncan.
Oh, good steal.
Taken away, and that's another steal.
That was a nice strip by Lindsey Hunter.
Detroit had 3 steals in the last 1:13 of the third quarter, and McDyess puts it in. And Hubie, when you think about it, Popovich, he got Parker and Bowen out of the game at the end of the third, each with 3 fouls. He went to his bench, and they had 3 turnovers and a goaltender.
Well, you give Detroit a lot of credit, Al. They went for that 3-quarter court trap. They caused the turnovers, and they made things happen.
Parker.
They'll give him that. They'll give him that long shot.
Tayshaun Prince. Phillips re-spots. And then Ori with a rebound. Pistons with a 7-point lead, equaling their biggest of the game. The Spurs' biggest lead tonight has been 6 points.
They're doing a good job, taking the ball from one side of the floor to the other. That's one thing Pop wants. Unfortunately, they've had too many turnovers.
Duncan, and when Duncan goes off the glass, it is money in the bank.
Yeah, well, Timmy's been struggling here tonight. He's 5 for 13 from the floor. He's doing an excellent job on the rebounding, but they've been able to get him where he is missing. He's not shooting that high percentage of over 50%.
5-point lead. Phillips goes to the hoop and gets fouled on the way in.
Well, this is the guy that you want to open up now. He's a fourth quarter guy. You know that he can make the threes. You want him to attack the basket either off the dribble or posting up Parker and taking advantage. You cannot foul him. He's an 89% shooter during the season, 89% shooter here at playoff time.
Foul is on Parker. That is the 4th on him. Phillips makes the first, and of course the 4th game, 8:30 Eastern, will get it started from here Thursday night. And then if Detroit wins tonight, we're guaranteed a 5th game, which will be played here on Sunday night. Again, in the NBA Finals, 2 and then 3 in the middle, and then 2 back in San Antonio if necessary. Left in a 6-point game.
They're trying to play 2-man with Ginobili and Duncan.
Hamilton got a hand in.
When you play San Antonio, the one thing you have to try not to do, and that is to commit early fouls at the top of the quarter and allow them to get into the penalty situation early. And because they continue dribbling. So the big thing is when they're putting the ball down on the floor, you got to play a little soft, but cut off the lane. Just try to refrain from the cheap foul.
First team foul, and you've got McDyess will be called for the goaltending on what will be a basket by Brent Barry.
Now Brent Barry's having an excellent game here tonight. That's his 10th point, and it was on a beautiful change of direction move.
Coming off 2 games in which he was blank. So Barry in double figures, the only other Spurs Duncan.
Mainly he had the presence that he had, the confidence that he could finish with his left hand.
Little left hand hook to make it 78-69. And this one goes on Phillips. In the first 10 quarters of this series, Chauncey has 3 3-pointers since halftime. Here's Michelle.
Well, in that last huddle, that's exactly what Greg Popovich emphasized. He said, 4th quarter is Billups' quarter for threes. We all know that. We've got to guard him. They worked on some different defensive strategies. He also told his team, we've got a lot of time left. Now, no fouls, stops, not fouls. And on offense, he said, we're not looking for any one special play. We're still looking for ball movement. That's what he's emphasized all along, right, Hubie?
Absolutely. That's their game, and that's when they're at their best, when they spread the floor and force the defense to react at least twice.
But Duncan has it rejected, and then Hunter is able to hold on to it. They'll reset with Billups up top.
McDyess and Hunter have come in here now and given him a quick 9 points.
Hamilton, short. Punched up in the air by McDyess and saved by Detroit.
Now you got to reset now. You got to reset and get what you like.
McDyess from 19 feet.
McDyess is on fire, Al. He's 5 for 8, and Duncan just looked at him rather than come out and close him down. And by that we mean come out and guard him and force him to put the ball on the floor.
Detroit up 80-69 with a little bit more than 8 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And they'll press on the inbound.
There it is.
Bowen gets trapped but he gets fouled as well.
That's okay. The main thing is that you prove to them again that you can trap them and almost force them into a turnover. What you never do is jump in the air against the trap. You saw the dribble and a jump. That would have been a turnover if you didn't get that foul. But the big thing is to show aggressiveness if you are going to trap.
That was Hunter's foul, his first, and now as Parker goes in toward the hoop, he gets fouled. Tony loses his shoe in the process.
Well, from now right down to the end, in this last 7 minutes of 56 seconds, there are not going to be many gimmies, and by gimmies we mean uncontested layups. You're going to go down in there and force these people to make the shot, or if they do get fouled, go to the foul line and make 2 foul shots.
Nothing deters Tony Parker. We'll give him a moment to put his shoe back on. And he's very much like, if you liken it to a baseball player, it's a guy who keeps getting knocked down. A pitcher will throw at him, but the guy never gets intimidated. He just gets back in and digs back into the batter's box. Doesn't matter what you do to him, he'll come at you again.
I like this attitude because he never moans about the contact. He never says, you know what, I didn't get a call. I should have been on the line. He just plays the game and understands that it is a game of contact here. This game is played a foot above the rim. How about that?
Misses both.
Well, that's not out of the ordinary. We have 4 starters from San Antonio who shoot in the 60s during the regular season. Now, I know in this series they've been shooting 80%, but at any time they could go on a terrible percentage rate.
Absolutely, and there's McDyess with the bank. Detroit with a lot of daylight right now. 13-point lead.
Isn't it great when you make shots? When you make shots, the defense is a lot tougher.
Duncan's running hook doesn't go.
Look out, 4-on-2.
Hunter will stop. Hamilton is there for the offensive board.
Yeah, that's good. Get it out, regroup yourself, listen to your coach. Larry Brown is making a call.
Ori ready to come in for the Spurs. Hamilton gets it. Muhammad loses the rebound. They'll set it up again with a fresh clock.
Yeah, see, they have Parker on Hamilton right now. Because when you're playing Hunter and Billups and Hamilton together here, you've got to decide which guy you're going to put Hunter on.
Hamilton gets the loose ball in the lane.
Oh, boy. Everything is going their way right now.
You lose the ball, one of your guys is there to pick it up.
Yeah, but in the first half, that was San Antonio. They would get a block shot, they would run down the rebound and put the ball in the basket. The scene is shift. San Antonio took care of business at home, 2-0. Now all of a sudden, let's see if Detroit can take care of business in their house.
Stevie Wonder in the house. And with half the period to go, the score right now is the final score of game 1, except the opposite, 84-69 San Antonio, the final in the opener. Bowen misses, Duncan is there for the rebound, hands it to Parker, and Tony scores. 84-71 Detroit.
Big thing is now San Antonio, you don't want to keep fouling, wasting time and giving them a new 24-second clock. You want to play solid defense, try to hold them to 1 shot or get the turnover. There it is right there.
There's the turnover created by Tim Duncan.
Well, that was close to the backcourt.
And now Parker will drive all the way in, get fouled, and go to the free throw line.
When you have a double-figure lead and you're in this 4th quarter and you're down inside of 6 minutes, possessions are magnified. You got to try to not turn the basketball over. And then, when the opposition takes advantage and is out on the break, you must get them to shoot. They must make the field goals. You cannot let them get down into the painted area and then put them on the foul line.
8 of 21 is Tony Parker from the line in the 4th quarter in the playoffs. Meanwhile, Chauncey Billups committed the foul. And on Chauncey Billups, that's 5 fouls. So Phillips with 20 points, been the spark, but right now has to sit with 5 fouls and 5:47 to play.
Yeah, but this is going to be a short period of time. We just saw a quick trap by San Antonio. Nothing happened. Now they match up man to man.
And Prince gets fouled.
See, that's good basketball. Run your set offense. You don't have it. Take them strong to the basket. If you get fouled, go into the basket, you shoot 2. Right? Good sound basketball, but you have to run some time here. Also, because you got to be thinking Phillips is going to have a short stay on that bench before he comes back in.
Ben Wallace having a short stay on that bench. On the other side, Tayshaun Prince. It was Ben who got him off to a hot start tonight. Had 5 early blocks. Prince coming off a 3-point game the other night and ice cold in San Antonio. Tonight has 11 points, and now you can make him an even dozen with that second free throw.
Well, this is a typical Detroit playoff game. Hamilton and Phillips both have 20 points. Then 2 other starters in double figures. This is how you're accustomed to watching them play.
Ginobili lays it off for Parker. Tony from inside the arc. Ticking down to 5 minutes. 13-point game.
Big factor in this game has been the inability of Ginobili to get shots. He's only 2 for 5 from the floor. Naturally, the point production is only 7.
Prince, 1 on the shot clock. Rashid, but he gets it back, and with a fresh clock, another 3. Same result. Now Ori, before he can get it away, you've got the ball coming back, and Ori going over things with Delaney.
Now just keep an eye right here. Now, Ori was just knocked out of bounds. Now you can see Rashid pushes it back up here again. It was another 3. Ori stepped back in bounds. So you cannot jump in bounds, catch the ball, and land in bounds.
And a foul here called by Delaney.
Now, right now, the energy, the rhythm of the game, all of the bounces, everything going Detroit's way.
Detroit basketball on the sideline.
Greg Popovich told us today, we want to cut down, limit our turnovers. We cannot give them momentum out in the open floor. 18-2 on fast break points for Detroit.
Ben Wallace after that free thrust with the dunk. So after Bowen commits his 4th foul, Detroit retaining possession on the play with Ori, and then Wallace with the dunk to make it 88-73. Bowen.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The birthday boy, 34 years old today. That's his 4th 3.
4 out of 6 from behind the line. Bowen with 12 points.
Plenty of time.
Prince.
Look out.
Duncan comes away with it. Now Parker has got Ginobili on the flank. Manu spots up for a 3. That would have created a nervous moment in this building.
Not in the cards today, though.
Spurs in their 3 finals, this being the 3rd, have never allowed an opponent to score 90 points. And Detroit almost certain to get that because they have 88 at this point. And Detroit will retain it. Norrie says, wait a second, that's not possible.
Right.
Shot clock is at 3.
Yeah, and Ari has a good complaint right there. I believe that on the reverse spin I think that Rasheed Wallace just lost control of the basketball. That's what Horry is asking for.
Won't get it. That's the downside. Upside is only 3 seconds for Detroit to shoot. And Hamilton is free. 4-3.
I think it's safe to say it might be in the stars tonight.
It might be. Chick Hearn might have it in the refrigerator, the late, great Chick Hearn.
Right.
With the butter getting hard and the eggs cooling. 90-76. After 3 games in a best-of-7, you can't be any closer than 2 games to 1. Somebody has to have 2. The other team has to have 1. And that's where we're headed right now.
No, I like it. And I like the Detroit game tonight. 4 starters in double figures. McDyess off the bench in double figures. They have 17 offensive rebounds. And they forced a good ball handling team like San Antonio into 16 turnovers and got out in the open floor.
And they've held Duncan and Ginobili very much in check. Tim has been limited to 14 tonight with 10 rebounds. Ginobili 7 points, 4 rebounds, and Mono has turned the ball over 6 times.
Yeah, see, that was unnecessary. Yeah, Bennett Salvatore was right on top of that. And Rick Hamilton, you know, they came up, they thwarted off 2 traps. All you had to do is keep your dribble. You know, the main thing is watch the situation right here. So you just hold it, turn around and face it. That's an offensive foul. So you can see the right arm go right out.
14-point Detroit lead, 2:40 left in the 4th. Parker swinging underneath and nobody to hand it off to.
Wow, that was a swarming defense. That was beautiful to watch. He had an advantage, but the 2 white shirts just cut him off, did not allow him a shot attempt.
17th turnover tonight by the Spurs.
How about this guy?
Hamilton. Well, they needed Hamilton, who was hitting 33% in the series, to get hot, and he has done that tonight. He's almost 50% from the field.
That's right.
He has 24 points in the game.
A guy like Rip Hamilton is a shooter. Shooters think every shot is a good shot. So consequently tonight, he's working hard. He's gotten up 23 shots tonight. And they're all in his areas, his key areas. And finally, he's come aboard. He's 11 for 23, making good decisions.
And they call that on Hamilton, and of course the crowd hates it. And Hamilton's all the way down at the other end of the floor, resting against the stanchion right now. And now he finally begins to walk away from that spot. They're going to bring Hunter into the game with Bowen at the free throw line. 5 fouls on Hamilton and Billups both at this point. But the good news for Detroit is you only have 2:13 to play. 15-point lead for the Pistons. Hunter. Working inside to Rasheed. Nice movement all the way around the floor. And then Hunter misses with 1:50 to go. And Robinson has that blocked by Hunter.
Lindsey Hunter has been a pest out there. He's been all over.
Another steal. Nice. We got Wallace to Wallace, to Hunter to Wallace. Bingo.
We said it earlier tonight. When you make baskets, the defense picks up, and everybody's playing with a little bit more energy.
94-77. So the Pistons come home, and a series breaks out. It'll be 2 games to 1. Game 4 is Thursday. A 5th game is now guaranteed. There will be action here on Sunday night in Auburn Hills. They use the whole clock. Udrih tries to save it along the far side, and we have 58.1 seconds.
Now this is pretty. This is unselfish play. Watch the trailer in the middle of your picture right there. Reward the big guys when they run, especially a big guy who has been leading you in intimidation, shot blocking, rebounding, 6 offensive rebounds tonight. 3 steals. The man has been all over the place. Never mind all of the intimidation where he has moved his feet quickly in the painted area and cut off guys getting to the basket.
Arroyo off the bench for the first time. Darko Milicic is in the game. He's become known as the human victory cigar because when he gets in, it's like when Auerbach used to light up. You know the game's in hand. And Arroyo from 18 feet. Duncan was 5 for 15 from the field tonight. That's his worst percentage ever in a finals game. So they held him in check. They stopped Ginobili tonight. And the Pistons pull away in the second half. And will win this game handily. And Devin Brown is there for the basket. 96 to 79, and that's the way it's going to wind up. The Detroit Pistons guarantee at least a 5th game. They make it 2 games to 1. Stevie Wonder got it started tonight with a little pre-game mini concert, and Hamilton and company provided the coda as Detroit wins it by a score of 96 to 79.
Well, they just continue the defense for the full 48 minutes out, and you like their offensive play tonight. They finally hit a groove.
Stuart Scott.
Thanks a lot, Al. Antonio McDyess, Rip Hamilton, Rip. Finally, after 2 straight games of 14 points, he finally break out with 24. What was the difference for you?
Moving around, you know, not letting him try to grab and fight with me and things like that. I just thought if I just keep moving and keep running him off as many screens as possible, I'll get a better opportunity at the basket.
In game 1 and 2, when you only had 14 points, it was a matter of energy, Coach said. Why was you all's energy different?
I don't know. You know, that's a mystery. You know, I think tonight we really came out here and took care of business at home. You know, we did what we did. We defended. We helped each other out, and we got to win.
All right, Rip, nice game. Antonio McDyess, there was a time in your career not long ago that you thought you'd never play basketball again after 3 knee operations. What is it like to actually be in the finals?
It's feel good. I feel that I'm fortunate just to have the opportunity to play with these guys and be on the court. You know, basketball in my life, and, you know, I had the opportunity to come back and play. I feel good.
There was a time that you told us that you would cry sometimes at night because you thought your knee would never allow you to get back. After the game tonight, what's going on in your mind as you all have this thing now within 1 game?
I'm just happy we got the win. You know, like I said, I was just fortunate to be on the court tonight and fortunate to be back playing. But, you know, tonight we just made 1 giant step and just got to go keep going and try to stride and get the next 3.
All right, once and for all, who's the quietest guy on the team? Is it you or is it Tayshaun?
Nah, Tayshaun by 4.
Yell it! Yell it!
Tayshaun Prince.
Obviously, Tayshaun Prince is now the quietest guy on the team.